Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Dennis. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe, hit that bell for future videos, notifications. Let's get into this. So today's video is about you built your computer and now what do you do next? How do you get the software on it, all that kind of good stuff. Gonna walk you through it step by step. It's a bit long, a bit dry, but if you want to know, stay tuned. Okay, so you got your system built. Now you want to test everything, turn it on, and hope everything works. So here we go. So we just gotta wait and see if we get a boot up screen. Perfect. Okay, so now it's basically telling us at this point in time, insert a boot disk device, whether it be insertable USB media, which is the most common thing today, or if you happen to have a DVD disc with Windows 10 on it or previous versions, you can go ahead and use that. So at this point in time, we know our system runs, it works, and we're going to go ahead and install the software. So if you don't know how to do that, this is the video for you. So first thing you got to do, get your downloadable media from the internet. Now you have to have this before you start, because it's not like you can't go to the internet right now. So you have to have your boot media ready. So I've got Windows 10 set up, already installed on this USB. I'm simply going to insert it into the computer, and it's going to start installing. So we'll watch as that happens. So at this point in time, we're going to hand it a keyboard, hit enter. So I did a restart because it wasn't connecting with the keyboard for whatever reason. So on the restart, it's picking up the USB key, and now it's getting ready to install the software. So if that happens to you, not a problem. Make sure your USB device is plugged in, and now you're ready to install Windows. And this is a simple, easy step. Do all your settings, and choose your language, your country, all that kind of good stuff, and click next to continue. So once you do that, you're going to be confronted with the screen of installing. So you're going to click install now, and as you can see, setup is starting. Now this is a part that some people were confused on. Let me just make this bigger. So here it wants you to put your activation key or your product key. But what if you don't have it right away, or you didn't think of that, and oh my gosh, I got to run out to the store and I got to go buy the operating system. I never thought of that. No problem. You can simply at this point say, I don't have a product key, and then just continue. So just click down here on I don't have a product key. Click the version that you want to buy. So you got to know whether you want to use Windows 10 Pro or Windows 10 Home. Now, if you're going to use a 32-bit version, which I don't know why you would, but you could, you'd have to buy that specific version and then use that USB device in order to do it. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to use Windows 10 Pro because I have a product key for that. So it's already on Pro. I'm just going to click Next. Okay, then it comes up asking to accept the license terms. Of course, you're going to click I accept the terms and click Next. Okay, so this is a big issue here. So the two options here are to upgrade, install Windows, keep your files, settings, applications, and that's if you're moving from another operating system like Windows 7 and you want to go to 10, and you're okay with that, and you want to keep everything that you've got because you don't want to lose anything. However, all of us over time tend to accumulate stuff we probably don't need. So my personal recommendation, back up all that information, get all your license keys, back it all up, have it set somewhere else, and then go down and do the custom install Windows only. That way you get a fresh install and everything's going to come up the way you want it to be without any extras. So just go down and click on where it says Custom Install Windows Only. Now, you're going to be confronted with where do you want to install your operating system. Now, in this case, my operating system is my M.2 drive. It's 232.9 gigabyte, even though it said 240 and you buy it, which I don't like. But anyway, moving on. So that's the drive I'm going to put it on because that's the fastest drive. The other drive that you can see there, which is considerably bigger, is going to be my storage drive for everything else. And that way you'll get faster boot ups on the M.2, everything like that. So that's my recommendation. Again, if you want, you can put it on the bigger drive. Nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to choose that drive and I'm going to click Next. And from here, it's going to start doing its install. Windows 10 is a lot faster than previous operating systems. So now it's just going to copy our files, getting ready for installation. You got to remember, it depends on how fast your drive is as well, of how quickly this takes place. Because an M.2 drive is considerably faster than even an SSD. So it does have an effect on how quickly this can all take place. All right, so we're just going to let this go. Something else to keep in mind is I have a internal wireless adapter which also provides Bluetooth, which I've done a video on. So if you want to see that, I'll put a link in the description. And so that gives me the ability to connect to a network. So, but first I need to have the driver. But because Windows 10 on that particular device automatically sets up the driver, I don't have to worry about it. It's just going to automatically go. I'm going to have to choose the network to connect to, but other than that, everything is going to go smooth. So as you can see, it's getting the files ready for installation at 16%. Okay, so it's at 96%. Should finish up soon, move on to installing features and updates and so on and so on. This usually doesn't take very long. And then we'll move on to the next step. So that's okay. Now, recommendation, remove your USB stick now. If you don't, you could be caught in what's called an infinite loop. In other words, it'll look for that USB stick and start booting off it each time it comes up again. And you don't want to do that. Now, we will go into the BIOS and the boot menu after, because there's a few things we want to do in there. And you can see the delete to get to the BIOS and F11 to run the boot menu. But for now, we don't need to worry about that. It's just installing components, looking for drivers for any components that are needed, and then it's going to start up. So it's getting devices ready. Don't be concerned over the fact that it may reboot more than once. That's perfectly normal. Okay, so at this point, it's asking you to customize your settings or use express settings. I'm going to recommend go into your customized settings because you want to look at a lot of the privacy things that are in there, and you want to make sure a lot of those are turned off. But if you don't care about privacy, by all means, use the express settings. So click on Customize Settings right here. Now, I sometimes will leave this on, even though it says it sends input to Microsoft for typing, inking, input your contacts. Oh, actually, no. Turn that one off. 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 If you want to leave any of these on, you're certainly okay to do that. And off. And next. Now, here you got automatically connect to open hotspots. No, that is not a wise idea. So for me, I'm going to say no. Turn it off. Automatically connect to networks shared by your contacts. No. Turn it off. Same thing for the rest of them. Because Personally, I find this the last one where it says send full error and diagnostic information to Microsoft benefits Microsoft somehow, probably, but it certainly never usually helps us. It doesn't seem like it, at least. So turn those off, click on next. And okay, so it says use a smart screen, online services to help protect against malicious content. That's the only one I leave on. Use page prediction to improve reading, speeding up browsing overall. Yep, I'll leave that one on too. And then it says get updates from and send updates to other PCs on the network. Absolutely not. Turn that off. And then click next. Remember, these are my suggestions. You can decide what you want to have for your own. Okay, so at this point in time, you're going to create an account for your PC. It's going to be a local account up until such time as you create a Microsoft account, which I'm not going to do in this video. So for now, I'm just going to use my part of my YouTube channel called Reviewing, Playing, and More, RPM. RPM is the short for that whole thing. So I'm just going to call it Reviewing for now. I'm not going to add a password. You can do that, put a password on it if you wish. It's totally your call. Password, hint, the whole works. At this point, I'm just going to click Next. So it's going to go through. It's going to do its thing again. Oh, and then it says, hi. We're happy you're here. Aren't you glad? I know I'm glad. Lots of great features to get excited about. Some people may disagree. Some people maybe not. Now it will set at this screen for a little bit, so don't get worried if it sits here for a while. That's, again, part of the process. Okay, so it says getting everything ready, and now it's saying, let's start. So now you're at your main screen, and now you're ready to install everything. It's searching automatically for a display driver, and it'll try and give you the best resolution, and it'll do a couple changes in there. So we'll wait and I'll show you that after this finishes up here. So while it's deciding to do that, I'm going to make a few changes. First, I don't like seeing Cortana all out in full like that, so I'm just going to go ahead and make it small. I'm just simply going to right click, go up to Cortana, and go just show an icon, just to make it tiny. And over here it's clicking for a display, so that's good. It can do it at once. Right now I don't want to see that. Nothing there, and of course it doesn't have an internet connection because it's operating on Wi-Fi. But for some reason, this particular time, it did not find the driver. So by effect, I suspect that it will find it at some point. Usually you have to reboot your computer maybe once or twice. Now, sometimes what will happen as well, which is why you need the disk that comes with your PC sometimes, is it doesn't have the ability to know Intel socket, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure what it's called. So what will happen now is we're going to have to set up a network. So I'm not going to include that in this video. If you want to see a video specifically on that, let me know and I'll see if I can put one together for you. But basically I'm going to go now. I'm going to put the disk in. This is just basically the first software you go to, how to set it up after you turn your PC on. Straightforward, simple. Other than creating the media creation tool. And again, that would be another video as well. So if you want to see that stuff, let me know. And I'll make whatever one you want to see. So at this point, put your DVD in that came with the motherboard that you bought. And let's go install the software. That's what I'm going to do now. One thing to remember as well is after you decide to install some of the software from the disk that came with your motherboard, don't stop there. Go in and update each and every one of those from the website online, because you want to have the most up-to-date BIOS and all the software in order to make things work right. And there could be bugs that they come out with later on and they fixed, and you want to make sure you've got all the latest updates and don't rely on just what was on that DVD, because you don't know how long that DVD may have sat in your motherboard. It could have sat there for a year or longer, okay, before you bought it. Meanwhile, there's been a lot of updates come online. Okay, so don't forget to do that. So just to take this one step further, once you've got your DVD in there, whether it be through an external DVD drive or an internal like I've got, just click on the Run DVD Setup and start installing some of your software. Okay, so it says, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your computer? Well, if you don't, I mean, you wouldn't have put it in there. So yes, click yes. Now, the only one I'm really concerned with here is the wireless adapter getting it up and running. So you may need to find that driver and just get them all going. So you can see what it's going to do, all the different drivers. There are things that you want to install, things you don't. Make sure you check every one of these, because some things on here, like it could be McAfee, it could be Norton. There's going to be things on here you're not going to want. So go through them all, uncheck the ones you don't want, and once you're done, click install. So the ones I took off are Google Drive and Norton Security. And I'm just going to click install. I'm going to let that run. And then I'm going to go onto the internet after that. And I'm going to get all the newest updated drivers. Now the beauty that I like with MSI is it'll create a program on here at one point that it's going to allow you to update all your drivers like in an automated process, which does make it a little easier to find them. So just click install. And it's going to go through and it's going to install all of these. Now that MSI gaming app that it puts on here, you are going to like it. I really like that on every system I've built so far, and I recommend it. But here's the most important one, is the Intel network drivers. Okay, that's the one that's going to get everything up and working, the Wi-Fi drivers, Bluetooth. Because right now my system didn't recognize my internal adapter. Now it's possible it could be bad, because usually Windows has done that in the past, or I just need to update it. But before I can update it, I have to have the Intel network drivers working first. So while this is installing, one thing I want to mention is on boot up, the M.2 drive, I didn't do anything. I didn't install drivers, nothing. I just simply put it into the computer and it automatically detected it and it's starting up. That's one of the things I like Windows 10 for, is it takes out a lot of the hassle that you used to have in systems gone by to find all this on your own. Now, it wasn't that big a hassle for people like myself that kind of knew all this stuff, but even if you did, it still was much longer process and can be more difficult. So as you can see, it's installed a good part of these and it'll be done relatively soon. And down in the bottom right of the screen, I think you can see that, it's showing the wireless with a star. So what that's telling me now is because it's installed a network driver, it now saw my adapter and says, oh, there's a wireless adapter in here. And now it's going to let me go in, choose the network I want to use, and then I'll be able to go onto the internet and do everything else I want to do. So the next thing we're going to do as part of this, I know I said earlier I was going to stop, but I'm not stopping. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the first place I go for every system I build. Every system I build, I go into this website and I use their software, and it's fantastic. And you'll see that in a few seconds here. Now, something else I did here that if you in the audience know, I clicked on the Install Software Guard Extensions. And to be quite honest, I have no idea what that is. But I have done it in the past. So anybody watching this video gets to this point, it happens. And you know what that is? Please put it in the comments and let me know. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so now it's just saying installation is finished. Please reboot your system. And I'm going to say okay. Now, the other thing to remember is even though I said okay to boot, it actually is not going to do that. I know this from previous experience. So you've got utilities, Google, security, and Gamecaster. Each one of those has separate install items. So if you want them, click on each tab. So utilities. And if there's anything there that wasn't on the first page, you'll be able to install it. Now, right now it says not installed for all of them. So choose the ones that you want, which ones you think you want. Maybe you want all of them. That's fine. And then just click on the install button again. Now your Office utility is just 7-zip, which is a good zip. It's kind of like WinZip, but it's a free version. You got XSplit Game Cacher, which I really haven't used a whole lot, and I keep getting it every system I build, and probably should try it out sometime. SteelSeries Engine, which is a good software to have on your system. What the Fast, I used it, don't find it particularly helpful. And in system utility, you got Intel Extreme Tuning Utility, so if you want to get into overclocking and that kind of stuff, I guess. And then it says CPU-C, which is another handy utility. Again, that's a whole nother video. If you want to see it, put it in the comments. So now I'm going to click on install, and I'm going to do that one. So another thing that will happen is this will put a lot of icons on your computer. So much like your phone, your iPhone or your Android phone, you can create a folder, put all these items in one folder, and just declutter your desktop, just so it's not got thousands of icons all over the place. Because you're not going to access a lot of them that often. And if you do need it, just open your icon and your folder rather, and just click on the one you need. Now here's a little something some people overlook. On the very top there's arrows. Some people don't notice those. If you click on those arrows, it'll give you another system information. So after you've got this done, that'll still be there. And if you're trying to find quick information on what's in your system, that's a great place to go. And about MSI. That just gives you information to call them, fax them. Now, who you get when you call, I have no idea. I've never called these people. So at this point, I am going to reboot my computer. I'm going to shut this down with the big X. Now that he's going to say, okay, it wants you to register your product. For now, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say already registered, never show me this reminder again, and apply. And the reason for that is I will do that later on my own. And his experiences has taught me sometimes, it's going to come up and remind you at some point again anyway. We'll click here, click apply. Unless you want to go in and register right away, but they probably won't let you because your internet may not be working yet. Okay, and now I'm just going to restart the computer. So it comes up, it says reviewing. I can put a picture there if I want, and I will later on. Now I'm going to go in and do my network. So all you're going to do is click down here if you have a wireless adapter. It's going to show you your networks to choose from, and there's a whole bunch of them. And I will probably turn this off later on. But for now, we'll just close it down. And you're going to get this. If you want it not working, you're going to have to tell it to no, or never remind me again, or whatever you want to choose. There's going to be software where you can pick it out later, and that's going to be fine. See, it disappears on its own if you just let it go. So the one website I want to take you to, the first thing I go to after I've done with my disk from the motherboard, and then I'm going to go later, like I said, update all the drivers. The very first website I'm going to go to is right here. So that's the site. www.ninite.com. Hit enter. So what it's going to do is it's going to install and update all your programs that you can choose, and you can buy the Pro version. And I recommend, if you're going to use it a lot, go in and get Ninite Pro. This right now is free. So what you're going to do is you're going to scroll down, and you can choose Chrome. Oh, it's got a mind of its own here right now. Chrome, Firefox, any of these that I like to use GIMP. I like to use CD Burner XP just so I have something for the DVD drive, although not totally necessary anymore. And I like VLC. 7-zip was already put on here, so I don't need it this time, but I usually choose that as well. Malwarebytes. Now it's going to give you the free version, and then you can choose the other ones later. I don't know what this one is. That's new. Oh, screen reader. There you go. You can do Steam if you want. But for now, I'm going to do the net version, Silverlight, Air, and Shockwave. And all you got to do is go down. It says get your Nanite. Now it's going to start automatically over here. And then you're just going to click on it. And it's going to start downloading all your programs. And when it's done, you just have to click close and you're done. I recommend going here for every time you can do a computer build, because not only does it give you, without all the bloatware, without all the extra advertisements and everything it normally gives in some of these programs, you're not going to have to worry about any of that stuff at all. So that's why I recommend going in and doing this one. Alright, so that's it for the video. Hope you like it. If you like it, hit that like. If you don't, you know what to do. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell for future notifications. So that in a nutshell is everything I do after the computer is built, step by step. And of course, there's a bunch of other stuff too. So if you want to see even more, let me know in the comments and I'll put something else together for you. And if you want to see how to do just how to create the media creation tool for your USB so you can put it in, how to create that, I can do a separate video on that for you if you let me know. Alright, thanks for watching.